The rain was pouring outside, and the streetlights looked like blurry halos through my window. I sat on the couch, staring at my journal, another failed attempt at manifesting my dream life, pages filled with affirmations, but nothing had changed. It felt like I'd been lying to myself, pretending to believe something I didn't. I had tried vision boards, scripting, meditations, every method YouTube gurus swore by. Yet here I was, in the same apartment, at the same dead-end job, feeling the same frustration. I was starting to think all this law of attraction stuff was a scam. That night I told my friend Mia how hopeless I felt. She listened quietly, sipping her tea, then leaned in. "There's a book you need to read," she whispered. Her tone was so serious it made me sit up. "It's called Manifest the Unseen by Luna Rivers." I laughed. I'd heard of so many manifestation books before, but Mia shook her head. "This one is different." I wanted to roll my eyes, but something about her voice stopped me. She told me she'd stumbled on the book after hearing a podcast interview with Luna. The way she explains manifestation, "It's not like anything I've heard before," Mia said. I was curious but also afraid to get my hopes up again. Still, that night I looked it up online. The cover was simple, a deep midnight blue with a faint golden spiral in the center. Something about it felt magnetic. Against my better judgment, I ordered the book. 3 days later, it arrived in a brown package. I tore it open, half expecting to feel nothing, but when I held it, my palms tingled. I laughed nervously. Maybe it was just the excitement of something new. I made tea, curled up in my favorite chair, and opened to chapter 1. The first sentence made me freeze. It read, "You don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you are." I stared at the words, feeling something shift inside me. For years I'd been wanting, but had I ever truly become the person I was trying to attract things for? The question unsettled me. I kept reading, my heart racing. Luna's words felt like they were peeling away all the lies I'd told myself. She wasn't selling magic tricks or quick fixes. She was exposing why manifestation fails for most people, and how to fix it. Somewhere between pages 4 and 7, I realized I had been doing it all wrong. I wasn't manifesting, I was daydreaming. And there's a huge difference. That night I barely slept. My mind kept replaying that sentence. "You manifest what you are." I had no idea that one line would change my life forever. The next morning, sunlight spilled through my blinds, but I felt different. I picked up the book again, flipping to where I'd left off. Luna was talking about alignment, but not in the way I'd heard before. It wasn't about faking positivity or repeating mantras you didn't believe. It was about making real-world changes so your actions matched your desires. I thought about my life. Every day I complained about my job, yet I never applied for a new one. I dreamed about financial freedom, yet my spending habits said otherwise. Luna's words hit me like a mirror. She wrote, "The universe responds to truth, not to lies you tell yourself." I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. Maybe the reason nothing worked before was because deep down I knew I wasn't ready. That day I decided to test her method. Step 1 was brutal, honesty. I wrote down every area of my life where I was out of alignment, my health, my career, my relationships. The list was longer than I wanted to admit. Step 2, take one small action today that the future me would take. I thought about my dream, running my own creative business. The old me would just visualize it, the new me? I sat down and made a list of potential clients. My hands shook, not from fear, but from possibility. For the first time, I felt like I wasn't just asking for something. I was building it. That night, I picked up Manifest the Unseen again. Luna wrote about micro shifts, tiny daily actions that signal to the universe you re-serious. Like dressing how you dress in your dream life. Like speaking about your goals as if they were already set in motion. It felt strange, but I tried it. The next morning, I wore my best outfit, even though I was just working from home. I made my coffee in a fancy cup instead of my chipped mug. It was small, but I felt powerful, and then something happened. At 2:17 p.m., I got an email. It was from an old acquaintance I hadn't spoken to in years. They'd seen some of my creative work online and wanted to hire me for a project. I sat frozen, staring at the screen. It was the first real opportunity I'd had in months, and it came the day after I started aligning my actions. Coincidence? Maybe, but deep down, I knew it wasn't. The next week felt unreal. I delivered the project, and the client loved it. They even recommended me to 2 more people. Suddenly, my inbox wasn't a graveyard anymore. Each new email felt like proof that Luna's method worked. But then, the fear kicked in. What if this was just beginner's luck? What if it all collapsed tomorrow? Luna had a chapter on this, the fear spiral. She warned that as soon as your reality starts to change, your old mindset will fight to pull you back. I could feel that happening to me. I'd wake up excited, then sabotage myself with overthinking. What if I can't keep up? What if I'm not good enough? The book said, doubt is not the enemy, inaction is. So I kept taking micro shifts. Every morning I wrote down 3 actions future me would take that day. Some were tiny, like reaching out to 1 new contact. Others were scarier, like pitching my work to a company I thought was out of my league. One afternoon, I hit send on a pitch email and immediately regretted it. My heart was pounding. But the next day, they replied. Not only did they want to talk, they offered me a meeting that week. I couldn't believe it. It was like every step forward was unlocking a door I didn't even know existed. But there was a catch. The more opportunities came, the more my old life started to feel too small. Friends noticed I was acting different. Some were supportive, others not so much. One even laughed when I told them about Luna's book. Manifestation? Really? You're smarter than that, they said. I smiled, but inside their words stung. That night I almost stopped. Almost, but then I reread one line from Manifest the Unseen. Your dreams don't need everyone's approval. They need your commitment. And in that moment, I decided I wasn't going back. 2 weeks later, it happened. I woke up to an email with the subject line, collaboration proposal. The sender's name looked familiar, but I couldn't place it at first. When I opened it, my breath caught. It was from a well-known influencer in my niche, someone I had followed for years. They had seen my recent work and wanted me to partner on a project. For a moment, I thought it was a prank. I read the email 3 times, my hands shaking. This wasn't just another gig. This was the kind of opportunity that could change my entire career, but the fear returned. What if I messed it up? What if they realized I wasn't as talented as they thought? I almost said no, almost. Then I remembered something Luna wrote. The moment you're offered more than you think you deserve is the moment you need to say yes, so I replied, I'm in. The following week was a whirlwind. We brainstormed ideas, planned content, and set a launch date. Every time I felt the urge to doubt myself, I took another micro-shift action, emailing 1 more contact, refining my work, speaking like the confident version of me. It was exhausting, but thrilling. On launch day, my heart raced as the project went live. Within hours, the response was overwhelming. My follower count exploded. My inbox flooded with messages from people wanting to work with me. It felt like the universe had been waiting for me to step up, and the moment I did, it threw open the floodgates. That night, I sat in my living room, staring at my laptop screen in disbelief. I had dreamed of this moment for years. Now it was here, and yet, Luna's words echoed in my mind. Manifestation isn't magic, it's momentum. If I wanted to keep this going, I couldn't stop now. At first, everything felt perfect. Money was coming in. Opportunities kept appearing in my inbox. But then, the cracks began to show. I was busier than ever, but I barely slept. Deadlines piled up faster than I could handle them. The pressure to deliver top-quality work every single time was crushing. I started skipping meals, telling myself I didn't have time. One night, at 2 a.m., I stared at my screen, my vision blurring from exhaustion. Was this what I'd been manifesting? Luna's book warned about this too. She called it the energy leak. When you achieve your goal but forget to protect your own well-being. Abundance without boundaries will drain you dry, she had written. I realized I'd been saying yes to everything because I was afraid the opportunities would stop. But the more I overcommitted, the less I enjoyed my work. The spark that started this whole journey was fading, One morning I woke up to an angry email from a client. I had missed a major deadline. My stomach dropped. I could almost hear the old voice in my head. See? You're not cut out for this. For the first time since starting Luna's method, I thought about quitting. But then I flipped open the book, desperate for guidance. The page I landed on read, "The universe will test you. Not to punish you, but to see if you're truly ready for what you asked for." I sat there for a long time. Maybe this wasn't a sign to give up. Maybe it was a sign to grow. I made a list of the projects that lit me up and the ones that drained me. For the first time, I said no. No to a client who didn't value my work. No to a deal that paid well but didn't align with my future vision. It was terrifying, but freeing. And slowly, the chaos began to settle. I was starting to see. Manifestation wasn't just about creating the life you wanted. It was about protecting it too. Months passed and my life looked nothing like it used to. My calendar was full, but only with projects I cared about. My income had doubled, yet I worked fewer hours. I felt lighter, freer, more myself than ever before. One rainy afternoon, I sat in the same chair where this all began. Only this time I wasn't staring at a journal full of failed dreams. I was reviewing plans for my next big project, one that I had fully created from scratch. I thought back to the night Mia told me about manifest the unseen. If I had ignored her, I'd still be stuck in the same cycle. Luna's words weren't just advice, they were a roadmap. She had taught me that manifestation wasn't magic dust you sprinkle over your problems. It was a choice, a daily commitment to become the person you were waiting to be. I remembered her line, "You manifest what you are." And now, I finally understood. It wasn't about hoping. It wasn't about waiting. It was about living as if your dream had already arrived until it does. That night I wrote a thank you message to Luna, not just for the book, but for giving me back my belief in myself. Before bed I caught my reflection in the mirror. I saw confidence in my eyes that wasn't there before. The old me would have called it luck. The new me knew better. This wasn't luck. This was alignment. This was action. This was me manifesting the unseen.